Plaintiff Patricia Johnson Lanhart works as a security agent, and in her line of work, she has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and has come across every drug known to man. Patricia claims the defendant runs a pirate-themed family-oriented festival, and he hired Patricia to provide security, but he failed to pay her for her services. Defendant Sean Farrell says when he started his pirate-themed festival, he wanted it to be a family-oriented event that showed kids there were other ways to have fun in life than with drugs and alcohol. Sean doesn't believe he owes Patricia for anything.
Start with you.
Well, I'm sure in your line of business, you've seen lots of drug cases come through. Alcohol cases and whatever. Me being a security agent, I've seen the same. Plenty of it and too much of it sometimes. We had a 16-year-old boy, approximately 8 years ago, that had acquired the CR5 hallucinogen drug from over the internet. And at about approximately 7 o'clock at night, decided to start running through a cornfield and a bean field where the function was being held. Stripping right down to his
What
bare
city is
nakedness. This was held down in Geneva, Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Yes. The drug's a killer. There's a lot of drugs out there that are killers. Our job as security agents are to control those things. I met Mr. Farrell approximately 4 years ago, and we became friends. Mr. Farrell is in charge and a promoter of a wonderful festival called Plunder Festival. It's a pirate-themed festival. We provided services for him regarding security agents for his function.
Okay, you're getting into the details of the lawsuit, so let me allow him to give some background.
Sure. Judge Mathis, it's an honor. First thing I want to say is our festival, basically I created an environment where I wanted everyone to be a family-orientated environment. I wanted to take an everyday issue such as
drugs.
Well, I mean, more so like bullying.
I'm talking
Something
about you.
where you're, I don't want drugs.
I'm talking about you.
No, I don't do drugs.
Well, you keep getting caught in the middle of your thought. You start off with 5 seconds, you'll be on it, then you'll just stop.
Yeah.
Then you jump to another subject, then you just stop.
I'm nervous. You have to forgive me.
Okay, no problem. Give me some explanation. If you're running festivals, you're obviously a smart man. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, our whole concept is basically we wanted a safe environment for people to feel like a family, you know, where we want to remove the element of drugs. That's why we hired Patty, is to come and help eliminate the crap. It's ruining too many festivals.
Yep.
You know, I have a love for
Do they drink? Is there a lot of alcohol abuse?
There is alcohol there, but we shy from it. Again, it's the same concept. I don't want to deal with drunk people. I mean, if you can build something, I'd rather you do that than drink. You know, I'd rather you do that than smoke weed.
Plaintiff Patricia Johnson Lanhart was hired to work security at the defendant's pirate-themed festival, but she claims he failed to pay her for her services.
What groups do you have there at the festival?
This last year, we had members of Flogging Molly that came out. They did a reggae Irish set. It was the first ever before done.
Reggae?
Yeah, Irish reggae.
You can't do reggae unless you smoke weed. Talking about you don't want no drugs there. You don't want any drugs there, but you gonna hire Rastafarians. All right, sir. Yeah, you're right. You needed her. Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me why you sued him for a breach of contract.
The original contract was for $2,800.
To provide what?
Provide the services for the venue from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
I had a staff of 13 that filled those hours. Overtime came about due to the fact that the property owner, had asked us to improve on the security and tighten it up. He has a type ranch.
What was the agreement on overtime?
That Sean and I would talk to each other. which we did do via radio. I was going to charge him an additional $1,470, which would have been the additional hours at 98 hours times $15.
Is that what you all agreed to?
It was more a verbal agreement that was made between Sean, the landowner, and myself.
Sir, what do you say to this?
That's where I disagree. I mean, when I'm booking security for an event, I don't want there to be additional costs that's going to pop up.
I understand. Let's talk about what was agreed to.
It was agreed that the $2,800 was what...
You have the contract, anyone?
I do.
All right. $2,800 was the agreement, and the additional agreement she's referring to was for overtime. That's what we're referring to, the $1,470. $70.
Correct. This is where I disagree too. On our first day, security was late. They showed up, I don't know how many hours late, approximately 6 p.m. on our Thursday. They worked until 11 p.m. to midnight.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Hold on.
The following day, we started our shifts at 10 a.m. and then again worked till approximately 12 p.m., midnight, where they went off staff. And that's where my witness comes into play. She can attest that the security went off staff at that time, did not work again until 10 a.m. the following day. Not 10 a.m. the following day, they did work again, another 12-hour shift, and then at that time they said that their contract was officially up for hours, and they pulled staff. So by this being said, I don't hire a security company to work specifically a handful of hours. I need those hours covered all night.
Did you tell her that?
I would assume that it was implied when we booked the security from the original get-go.
It wasn't going that way, and you knew that the first night. You knew it the second night.
Right.
You knew it the third night.
Well, Thursday didn't matter so much. So Friday, we managed to pull off.
Right, but my point is, why didn't you mention these problems to her? Because now you're coming off as it's only a problem when you're getting sued.
Right. We were going to let everything slide.
Okay, we're going to keep letting it go. How about the overtime, though? Was there an agreement that you would pay overtime?
It is in the contract, sir.
Was there overtime performed?
No, it was not possible. It wasn't possible to...
Did you give him a bill for overtime?
Yes, I have,
What
sir.
did he say?
He answered me with several emails stating that he would return my calls, that he would get a check to the bank.
Plaintiff Patricia Johnson Lanhart was hired to work security at the defendant's pirate-themed festival, but she claims he failed to pay her for her services.
Did you send her an email saying you'd pay her?
Correct. However,
what's changed?
I was paying her daughter because her daughter had stated that
Paying her for the overtime?
No, there was no mention of overtime at all.
You never paid before the overtime?
There was an overage of about approximately $300 when we were all...
Overage meaning what? Overtime?
Left over on the original contract.
Okay.
And with that, I was...
To your benefit? Or to hers? She owed you $300?
No, I owed her $300.
Good enough. So that, all right. Did you give it to her?
I was paying her daughter, and her daughter at the time said that Patty was sick. And then I received an email back from Patty.
I still have a few that owe me large amounts of money. So when you were referring to this, you were referring to $300?
To accumulate up to $300. I was paying her in every other week.
Okay. I don't believe you. I'm going to go with her evidence. Your evidence and testimony is very unclear, very confusing. Hers is very clear. Her evidence is very clear. Her testimony was very clear, not confusing at all. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
We could have settled this outside of court. I wish you would have stayed in contact with me. That's all I would have asked.
I have something to say about it. I've known Patty for many, many years, and this was a desperate attempt for her to get money. She cut out early. Outside of her contract, there was no overtime accrued. She was under hours for what the contract was for, and she's done in our community as far as running security jobs. No one will hire her anymore, and this is why.
It's perfectly fine.